Now, thousands of passengers and crew have been sharing decades of memories of life on board the region's ships.
Southampton-based Cunard came up with the idea to mark the 185th anniversary of transatlantic travel, which the company was the first to start back in 1840.
What they didn't expect was the sheer number of people who'd send photos and videos to form part of a special exhibition. And Mike Pearce has been looking at some of those photos and delving into the company's archives.
Once the great ship is nosed about and heads down Southampton water, it's only a short run across the channel to Cherbourg, where we're joined by travellers from the continent.
The so-called golden age of passenger shipping. The original Queen Elizabeth leaving Southampton for New York. This rare footage shows what life was like on board in the 1950s and 60s. Passengers and crew were asked to share memories of their time at sea to commemorate 185 years of transatlantic travel, and thousands responded. Others were found in the archive. Barry and Anita from Southampton have been travelling for decades and love being at sea. They say things were very different in the old days.
We saw an advert for the QE2, which was a bunk up, bunk down in the cabin. And I said, if we do that, I will never ask for anything again. And it was so wonderful because even though you were in a lower grade cabin, you were still treated as if you were somebody on the ship.
They're up on deck playing deck quoits in full suit and tie.
Chris Frame is a world-leading shipping historian.
This is a very different world back in the 20s through to the 1950s, where the ships were the most common way to travel. And once you were on board, just like on transatlantic crossings today, the ship becomes a world unto itself. And so they all had their own personalities. The crews on board the ships were all distinct and had different ways of operating each different ship. So each ship was almost had like a sense of itself, and people would choose a ship based on which one they liked best. And the onboard life was very different. You know, today we have teams of entertainment staff who entertain you from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. There's a whole team of people here. But back in the 1920s through to 1950s, the passengers used to make a lot of their own entertainment.
The climax of the evening is the balloon dance. Prizes are awarded to couples who hold their balloons longest.
Carol Marlowe is a former Cunard president from Newbury and shared this photo meeting the late Queen.
It was the last time Her Majesty the Queen visited QE2. We took her around the ship. She met a whole host of officers and crew. But she did, at that lunch, quite unusually, took a little piece of her bread roll and she tucked it into her handbag. And I remember thinking at the time, I wonder what that was all about. But then, of course, later in 2022, when Paddington was involved with the Queen and we saw her acting prowess on screen, I realised that maybe she just needed a little something for later.
The response, we got about 2,500 submissions, which is incredible, and really shows the love worldwide, and everything from kind of videos through to images. You know, we've got honeymoon photos in black and white to modern day selfies to pictures of crew from a long time ago. So it's a fantastic representation.
And a selection of the thousands of photos will be seen in cruise terminals and on ships. Mike Pearce, ITV News, Southampton.
Oh, what wonderful memories, weren't there?
Absolutely.
I love the balloon dance.
The balloon dance looked great, but the game changer for me, I noticed amongst all those pictures, dogs on board.
Really?
Yeah, sounds great.